Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are doing well on this lovely Saturday, unless you're in Australia or New Zealand, this lovely Sunday. Gotta speak to the future sometimes. Well, what we're going to do today, we're going to continue on our path with the arithmetic reasoning. So yes, you see this on the ASVAB test, but it's also useful for those that are taking their GED, the Accuplacer, the IBEW, your TEAS test, your HESI test, basically any assessment from A to Z. This will work for you because we need to learn to decide what to pull out from our word problems in order for us to find our actual answer. So as you guys are coming on in, go ahead and say hi. It's a little tippity tap. And let me see if people are still here. If not, hey, that's fine. I'm just going to have fun and we're going to break this all stuff down. All right, so thank you so much for stopping on in. Now, remember, if you are taking that ASVAB, remember, you want to prepare for all these assessments. It's great that you're here and then you're getting a lot of extra attention, which is great. You want to learn to pass that lovely test. But at the same time, don't forget, you're probably going to have to do something a little extra depending on what you think your weaknesses are. All right? So let's read the first one. Hey, Brett, how are you? So Davey has 3 times as many Nintendo games as Alex. You guys remember Nintendo? If he gives Alex 6 games, he will then have twice as many as Alex has. How many Nintendo games did Alex start with? Is it A, 14, B, 16, C, 18, or D, 20? Just go ahead and put your answer in the chat. And what I'm going to do is probably give you a little shout out. Let's see what you guys are doing. So we got Brett and Yeneth both saying C. Judy is saying 18, which is C. Got you. Thank you, Judy. All right. We have sharing the live. Thank you, Donald. Preach. Say it, everybody. She's on. Cameron. We have Just C's. We have Diesel. Biscuit. We have Carl. The real John, hey, how are you? All of you guys are saying C. Frenchie is saying A. Jeff is saying C. Hey, thanks for sharing the live, Mick. Appreciate it. All right. T-Rex, how are you? You're saying C for the 18. Okay. And thanks so much for the follow, Lizzie. I appreciate it. So let's take a look. If I can do it like algebraically, let's say my unknown is my X. And X is going to be Alex. Because everything is all about Alex. And we know that Davy Jones, rest in peace, is 3X. So what they're saying, if he gives Alex 6 games, so that means Alex got 6 games, but also Davy lost 6 games. So if I can put it algebraically, that'll be 3x minus 6 for Davy. And then we'll have x plus 6 for Alex. But then it also mentions we have twice as many as Alex has. So that means we're going to have to times Alex's stuff by 2 for it to equal what is happening here with Davy. So if you want to, you can do the distributive property, which gives you your 3x minus 6. And then you have your 2x plus 12. So if I get my x's on the same side, that means I'm subtracting the 2x. And if I'm subtracting the 2x because I'm moving my x's over here, that means I need to add the 6 on the other side. So these will cancel out as well as those will cancel out. So 3x minus 2x, that gives me 1x, or just simply x. And then 12 plus 6 will give me my 18. Now, if you're good with the mental math and you're just like, hey, I can do it this way, remember, there is going to be multiple ways of getting the same answer. So if you knew how to subtract it and to organize it, that's awesome. All right. Okay, hello, Blissman. How are you doing? So let's take a look and number 18. Speaking of 18, all right. Milk that has 5% buttermilk is mixed with milk that has 2% butterfat. Sorry, thinking about breakfast today. All right, so let's try it again. Milk that has 5% butterfat is mixed with milk that has 2% butterfat. How much of the 5% butterfat milk will be needed to produce 60 gallons of milk that has 3% butterfat? Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of butter and a whole lot of fat. Okay. Okay. All right. Is your third graders already learned the distributive property? Is this normal? Yes, it is, Andrea. Everything has moved up at least 2 grades. Things that you would normally see in middle school is now being introduced in elementary school. You're welcome. She's like, no. Okay. All right, so you add instead of subtracting. All right. I know, right? Welcome. Hola, Sasha. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? Yeah, I'm very un poquito with español. Very slow. Very low. All right. Now, awesome. I love math. Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. All right. So this is going to be one of those problems that's like, well, wait, I definitely need time. Now, you notice it's number 18 because we did the first part of this yesterday. And if you do need to take a look at that replay, you can definitely go here and go here. Okay. And if you can do a little subscribe, maybe like, maybe comment, maybe share, that'll be awesome. But the replay from yesterday is definitely on there. And plus all my replays for TikToks are there. Okay, so I'm going to take this down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so as you intensify, that's when the problems start getting a little bit more challenging. But let's take a look at this. All right, so we have buttermilk being mixed with milk. And now I'm seeing 60 gallons of milk. So that means there's 2 different types of gallons of milk. One that has the 5% buttermilk and another one at the 2% buttermilk. But since there's 2 different, I'm going to say my 5%, I'm going to call that my unknown for X. My 2%, I'm going to make my unknown for that be Y. So that's with the entire milk. So if I may, I'm going to write just one equation just for the milk. So my buttermilk mixture is here. My 2% mixture is here. So then here's my 60-gallon mixture of the milk is here. But the other one, we want to deal with the percentage. Okay? So we want to deal with the percentage. There you go, GM. Appreciate it. You could be wrong. Oh, I think some people might be right. So here we go. We have our 5% of the butterfat in that 1 gallon of milk. Then we have our 2%, okay, for the butterfat for that milk. And they said the 60-gallon milk that has 3% butterfat. So that means I need to multiply this 3% times the number of gallons, which is 60. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a system of equations. Okay, we have one equation that's just dealing with the mixture and another equation that's dealing with the percentages. So let me, if I may, let me do my multiplication with this before I start doing my fun little trick. So I know we have 3 times 6 will give me my 18. But we're going to have 2 decimal places and we have a whole. So I know I'm going to have a 0. because 60 times 3 is 180. But since I have it as 0.03, I got to move it over 2 decimal places. So that means this is going to be 1.8. But instead of dealing, I'm just going to rewrite just so y'all can see it. But instead of dealing with all these lovely decimals, I notice this is in the hundreds, this is dealing with the hundreds, and this is dealing with the hundreds. So why not lessen the torture and multiply everything by 100? Let me shrink it think a little bit. Because when I multiply everything by 100, that means this is now going to be a 5x. Because 100 times my hundredth basically moves it over 2 places to the right, which gives me a whole number of 5. Then plus, I multiply this 2 hundredths by 100, that will give me a 2. And if I multiply the 1/8 by 100, that will give me my 180. So much easier to deal with. Because remember, when you do this, you cannot use a calculator. So you want to do some things to make it easier for yourself. But they want to know how much of the 5% buttermilk will be needed. So last time I checked, the 5% buttermilk I'm going to use for my x. So that means this equation up here, I'm going to solve it for y. I'm going to do the opposite. So when I solve for y, whoops, got a little crazy. I'm going to subtract x on both sides. So it gives me y equals 60 minus x. So this is what y is going to equal. So if I take this 60 minus x, I could, remember, there's one of 2 ways of doing this. I could substitute that in for y to solve for x. That's one way of doing it. Or I could have left the original equation, match it up with the other equation to do elimination. But let me use substitution, because some reason substitution sticks with you guys a lot easier. So this is what's happening. I know we're still on one problem, right? But stick it out. So we have 5x plus 2, and in place of the y, we're going to put our 60 minus x. So now, that's fine. We're going through step by step. So now we're going to distribute this 2 to everything inside of its parenthesis. So that means we got 5x plus 120 minus 2x equals 180. Okay? All I did was distribute the 2 to everything inside the parenthesis. All right. Okay. So now 5x minus 2x, that gives me 3x. Plus 120 is equal to 180. So if I subtract 120 on both sides, that will give me 60. So if 3x equals 60, that means x has to equal 20. And you're probably saying, because I see a couple of people saying x, where did x come from? Well, you missed the beginning part of it. As I mentioned, I wanted to make my 5% one unknown value, which was my x, and I wanted to make my other unknown of the 2% my y. So instead of me going 5 and 2 and 5 and 2, I just make this is my one unknown and this is my one unknown. So those two unknowns is equal to the 60 gallons of milk that they have together. So once I do the other equation, which deals with the change or the percentages, changing 5% into its true decimal form, the 2% into its two decimal form, and then it says here 60 gallons of milk that has 3% butterfat. I had to change that 3% into its true decimal form and multiply it by 60. That's where the 1.80 came from. Okay. All right. Now, I love how people say, this is far above my grade level. Nope. Because here's my thing. If you're taking the GED, you're going to see a question like this. This is a 4-point question. Okay. GED, you'll see system of equations. You're going to see slope, equation of the line, perpendicular and parallel slopes, volume. Those are all 4-point questions. If you skip those questions, you are not going to pass the GED. I'm just going to let you know right here and now, because mathematically, even if you do awesome in the arithmetic part, if you skip any of those 4-point questions dealing with slope, system of equations like this, you're not going to pass it. So you're going to have to face your fear. Okay? Suck it up, Buttercup. I'm here to help you through it. All right? Okay. And it doesn't understand it? Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the next one. That's why I'm here. Okay? Here to kind of help you a little bit, break things down. Also to be truthful, to sell some of my tutoring service. Not even gonna lie to you. Okay? All right. So a roadside stand in Georgia sells boiled peanuts for $2.49 per bag and roasted peanuts for $3.29 per bag. If you want to buy 3 bags of boiled peanuts and 4 bags of roasted peanuts, how much will you spend? Is it A, B, C, or D? Can you borrow me for tutoring tomorrow? I do have a couple slots open. If you're serious about it, message me. Just go ahead and DM me. Okay. I've heard that boiled peanuts are yummy. Okay, we got some C's from the same person. B. Okay, thanks so much for the follow. All right, Sarah. On the 3. My show is on. Okay. Was 2 points away? I know. Yep. Well, here's my thing. Like I said before, you can go to my YT channel. All of my recordings are there. I'll show it again a little bit later before I go to the next page. All right, so we got a whole lot of C's, got some D's. Okay. Need to use the social media. Okay. Is it the y equals mx plus b? He doesn't understand. Yep, that's exactly what it is, Aubrey. Yep. I already know. Because if anybody's 2 points away, it's always slope and it's always the equation of the line. Every single solitary time. All right? Because if you don't get that, it's hard for you to understand what the problem that we just did, which is the system. So now, let's show it. This is one way that I kind of do it. So they're saying $2.49 per bag. Okay, that's for the boiled. And then $3.29 per bag for the roasted. Okay, so there was 4 bags of the roasted. Notice they put the word 4 in instead of the numbers. The reason why they do that is as you get people that like to just glance by and, I see a number. Okay, that's important. They do that so you have to read the problem. Okay, so even if you glance, always take a look at the last sentence or the second to the last sentence. because that's going to give you additional information. So 249, that's close to 250. And I'm multiplying that by 3. 329, I'll say that's like close to, it's not really close to 4, but it's kind of close to like $3 if I round it. And they said for the roasted, there was 4 bags of those. So I know, since I got the green pen in my hand, 4 and 3, that gives me 12. So we're looking at $12 here. So I know 250 and 250 gives me $5. Plus another 250 will give me $7.50. So if I add these together, it roughly gives me like $19.50. And I know I really rounded up with the $3. So I want to take something that's going to be close to this but bigger, because I took a lot away, 29 cents. Okay, I took a good 29 cents. If you want to add that 29 cents in here, or actually 28, that can work. The number that's close to it will be C. Okay, so sometimes you can use what's called estimating to get closest to your answer. Just by you doing 4 times 3, it gave you $12. And you know that you bought more than 1 bag of the boiled peanuts. A was gone. B was gone. So it had to be somewhere between C and D. And then you just do your estimating, and you'll get your answer. Yep, exactly. If you don't round up, you get the same exact answer. All right. Because sometimes we got to remember, you won't be able to use a calculator, but you still can use manual work. All right. So number 20. A teacher deposits $3,000 in a retirement fund if she didn't add any more money to the fund, which earns an annual interest rate of 6%. How much money would she have in 1 year? Is it A, 3,180, B, 3,223, C, 3,225, or D, 3,321? Yes, mostly algebra, geometry. I do pre-calculus, not the AP pre-calculus. We know that all can go back to the depths of hell in which it came. All right, so you're saying B. I'm seeing Nico, D&D, User 52, Sue are all saying A. Christmas with the B, Skywalker with the A, Mingo A, Bay A. Okay, now I'm seeing a whole seas of A's. Kevin is here with his A. That makes no sense. Okay, we're going to break it on down. Okay, I have a C, and I have a whole bunch of A's. We have Buddha, Yo Shampoo, saying my A. Just Maggie is with the A. Kiana with the A. Okay, Chris is holding on strong with his B's. All right, Vanessa, I see you with an A. Okay, Dickers with an A. Gabby with an A. Okay, Joma with an A. Okay, we have an E with J. Not even an option. All right. All right, so that, yep, there you go. You can do it that way. There you go. All right, so we have that 3,000. This is simple interest, okay? Now, if we are starting off with, the P, the R, and the T. So we're starting off with the 3,000. We have to change this rate to its true decimal form. That's 6%. So that is 0.06. And the time is always based on years, and it's 1 year. So we don't have to worry about the 1, because anything times 1 is going to be itself. But with the 3,000 and the 6, I know 3 and 6, that would be my 18. Okay, Then I'm going to have how many zeros? So 1, 2, so for the 18. So then if I come over, it'll be 1, 2. Whoa, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing, I'm tripping. 1, 2. So this will take me at 180. Now, this is the interest. Okay? This asks, how much money would she have in 1 year? So they're looking for the total, not just the interest. So we have to take what we started, which was the 3,000, and add on the interest that she made in 1 year, which is $180, and she would get 3,180. How did I get my zeros? Well, 6 times 3 gives me 18, and I got 1, 2, 3 zeros for the 3,000. Then since I need, this is 2 decimal places, so I had to move it over 1, 2. So that will give me 180. What do you mean, why did I put the 3,000 there? Yes, P means principal. Principal is what you start off with. R is the rate that you have, which is usually your percentage, and the time is based off of years. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, so she started with, so what if it was 2 years? Then you replace the 1 with a 2. It's not rocket science, people. We're trying to make it really, really crazy. Okay. All right. All right, we're okay. Hey, Lynette, just saw you in here. Okay. What basic math skills? They just need to know how to do math. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. It's common sense, people. Why are we trying to make things difficult? Come on now. It's like, but what if? Yeah, but what if? What if? What if? So, as I mentioned before, almost forgot who I was talking to. If you, because I know today is Saturday, and if a lot of you guys, all of this is located here, and all you have to do is just do a search here. You can use my name, which is also my profile, or you can use this. And I would love for you to do these. It is a free subscription, so don't worry, okay? No stress, no strain. This is basically what I tutor, okay? So from 7th grade to adult. All right, so if you need some assistance with your GED, Accuplacer, it seems like there's other things that keeps popping up. If it's not listed there, like IBEW, if you want to be an electrician, just let me know. If it has to do with algebra, I got you. I can break it on down that way. All right. Okay. Okay. Don't dismiss. What we think is common sense may not be to others, so don't dismiss. I am not dismissing. So again, here's another person that's reading the room incorrectly. We're just making things more difficult than it doesn't have to be. Okay? Because they have some things called trolls, and they always seem to come in and to find. Okay? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Wes. Oh, you saying what does plumbing have to do with algebra? Let me tell you, that's how they do, that's how they weed people out. I have a student who's now a receptionist at just like some kind of spa place, and they had her do algebra for her interview. So everywhere you go has algebra. And if you don't understand algebra, even just enough for the test, that's how they weed you out. So that's what they're doing. Well, thank you, John. For your 9th grader? All right, thank you. I'll talk to him. Yep, for math for a receptionist job of a spa. You know, nails, facials. They had to do algebra. It was hilarious. All right. Ooh, Satan's checking in. Okay. That's how you know you famous. Okay. All right. So Paula is taking the arithmetic reasoning subtest. She wants to get at least 25 of the questions right in order to score well on the AFQT. All right, what percent of the questions does she need to answer correctly? Now, for those that are getting after the GED, the AccuPlacer, you're probably like, well, how many questions are there? I have no idea. Okay, so a total of 30 questions. Okay, that's how many questions is usually in a section, especially for the arithmetic. All right. Okay. Right. So that means we need at least 25. That means 25 or more. We need at least 25. So that's 25 or more. So that's why I'm looking at 25 out of 30. Now 25 30ths can be reduced. Since they end in 5 and 0, they definitely can be reduced by 5. And how I reduce the 5 is I divide. Okay, so 30 divided by 5 gives me 6. So now I need to figure out which of these percentages is equivalent to 5/6. Now, all you have to do is division. Okay. How many 6s can go into 5? 0. How many 6s can go into 50? 8. And plus, you can use your answer choices to help you out. So this will give me 48. 50 minus 48, that gives me 2. Add another 0, bring it down. So now instead of being a 2, it's a 20. So how many 6s can go into 20 without going over? 3. That'll give me 18. So right here, I'm going to stop. Because if I'm looking at 0.83, that means 83%. So my answer will be A. Okay. Okay, so it's a mixture. It's a mixture. So it's not just algebra. Sometimes it does with basic adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions. It deals with decimals. It deals with percentages, distance, rate, and time theorems, everything. Okay, why 30? Because that's how many questions are in an arithmetic reasoning subtest. Okay. No, not for the arithmetic reasoning subtest. So what if I used 50? Well, you wouldn't be 50 because there's only 30 questions in the subtest. See, this is why it's going to be different. And that's why I said GED, AccuPlacer, you're not going to know how many questions are in the subtest. Well, ASVAB, there's 30 questions in the subtest. Okay, Air Force's qualifying test. Well, if you're taking the ASVAB, you should know, because it says in the very beginning how many questions are in the test. Okay. Now we all learned something. All right. Yep. All right. So let's come here. All right. Janet left Jacksonville, Florida, Eastern time. Keep that in mind. On a train to visit her grandfather in New Orleans, okay, Louisiana, which is Central time, okay, at 6 a.m. All right, so she left Florida at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If the trip took 12 hours, what time in New Orleans did she arrive? Is it A, 5 p.m., B, 6 p.m., C, 7 p.m., or D, 8 p.m.? Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm seeing some A's and B's, a C, a couple A's, a couple B's. I got 5. I got 6 p.m. I got some A's. I got tons of A's. Got some B's. All right, we got Christy and Hattie with the B's. It's like Malika. Then we have V Slims, Apple with the A's. Well, at least we all agree that it's not 8 p.m. All right. Okay, no, you have to switch time zones. That's what B is saying. Big Al is saying A. Okay, Eric saying A. Charlie A. A, we are an hour behind. There you go. All right, so this type of question is relying on you to know your time zones. Okay, we have Eastern Standard Time. So say right now, my time is at 12:42. Okay, but I know if I talk to one of my students in Texas, their time is 11:42. Okay, so they're an hour behind. But if we're talking 12 hours, we don't really have to calculate, because 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., that's 12 hours. Okay, all you have to do is change the a.m. to the p.m. But since they're behind 1 hour, it's not going to be 6, it's going to be 5 p.m. It will be 6 in Eastern Standard Time. But for Central, they'll be 1 hour behind. Okay. All right. Yeah, so they're not an hour ahead, they're behind. So it's like East Coast, then Central, then Mountain, then Pacific. Yeah. I have to keep all this straight because I have students from all over the U.S., even Alaska, and I'm teaching kids at like 5:30 in the morning their time, which is what, 9 o'clock my time. They're 4 hours behind. So yeah, try to keep up with different time zones when you're trying to do this thing called tutoring. It's entertaining. All right. It takes Simon 30 minutes to walk 8 city blocks. How long will it take him to walk 6 city blocks? Is it A, 19.3 minutes? Is it B, 22.5 minutes? C, 23 minutes? Or D, 26 minutes? Okay, so Lala, you definitely know what I'm talking about. The opposite way. Here we go. And then we burn into oblivion. So I have user 52 with a B, Serial saying C, Flash 26, 22, Mass Power. It depends on how safe the streets is. Yeah, how fast you can run, man. Okay, we got a whole series of B's. I brought up with a C. Okay, Rounded, Hattie, Mr. King. Where's that? Okay, it's in the B. Big Al with a D. Real Triple saying A. Okay, now we're getting some more B's with the 22.5s. Okay, right? All right, it'll take about 15 minutes. Okay, all right, so let's take a look. Ready? We can do a proportion. So 1, always take a look. This was talking minutes, okay? My answers are also talking minutes, so I don't have to do any converting. Yes. So if we have 30 minutes, it takes this person to walk 8 city blocks. All right? So they want to know how many minutes will it take them to walk 6 city blocks. Okay, notice my minutes and my blocks are in the same spots. When I cross multiply, I have my 8 times my unknown minutes, and then I have my 30 times 6. We got a lot of 180s during this thing, huh? So now if I divide both sides by 8, how many 8s can go into 18? Well, 2 of them. So right there, I know that option A is gone because that starts with a 1. So that will give me 16. 18 minus 16 is 2. Bring down the 0, we got 20. So how many 8s can go into 20? Again, 2. Right there, I'm looking at B as my answer. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. All right. So you can keep going, but remember, we want to try to get as much as we can with the shaved times. All right. Yep. So now, because if you did with the whole 20, with your 16, you got 4 left over. If you put your decimal point, you bring down another 0. Now that 4 is a 40. How many 8s can go into 40? 5. All right. If you want to complete it, you can't. But I'm going to tell you, the biggest part that screws a lot of people up is not supposedly knowledge. It's mostly they just don't know how to manage time. There's going to be some questions you can get really quick, and there's going to be some questions you need to think, like that one problem that we did earlier. Okay, but the buttermilk and all that. Okay. So Mick bought 5 cases of ramen noodles on sale for $3.75 a case. The regular price is $5.20 a case. How much money did Mick save? Is it A, $6.50, B, $6.75, C, $7, D, $7.25? Okay, so I'll get a whole bunch of D's, a lot of 725s. Okay, you got your 145s times 5. Okay. Hey, Michael. Okay. So we got our D's, we got 725, we got 675. Okay, we got a whole bunch of D's. Now let's take a look. So we have the regular price, we have the sales price. If we take the difference of those, you got your 520. Thanks for checking in. We have our 375. Take the difference of that, so this gives us our 5, because we borrowed here, borrowed here. So this will give us our 4 and our 1. Okay, but this is the difference in price, but for one case. Okay, remember it says $5.20 a case, $3.75 a case, but he bought 5 cases. So we're going to take this 145 and we're going to multiply it by 5. 5 times 5 gives me 25. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2 is 22. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7. And since we have 2 decimal places here and no decimal places here, that means my answer should have 2 decimal places. So starting at the end, I'm going 1, 2. Here's my decimal place. 725, which is D. Okay. Now, as you guys are going through this, and I know I keep harping on this, the reason why I have to do it manually, because you will not be able to use a calculator for the ASVAB or the GED or the AccuPlacer. Now, HES test, TEAS test, you can use a scientific calculator. Okay, so it's not going to be one of these jobbies. Okay, you can only do like a simple scientific calculator. There may be some problems on the GED that might give you an electronic calculator when you go there, but majority of the time, you're going to have to do it manually. Okay? All right, so I definitely want to do this. All right. So, let's take our time. All right. Here we go for the next one. Okay, David has 20 pies. He gave 1/4 of his pies to his son, 1/3 of his pies to his brother, and 1/6 of his pies to his friend. How many pies does he have left? Is it A, 5, B, 0, C, 4, or D, 6? Bree squared, you don't have to show your work. None of these standardized assessments, you don't have to show your work. Yeah, normal classes, like if you're currently in a class, yes, you have to show your work. Standardized tests, they don't care. They just care if you pick A, B, C, or D, in some cases, depending on the test in E. All right. Coming up, Esmeralda, how are you? D, drifting through C. Ryan saying 4, which is C. Got a high school diploma, but yeah, I know. C's. We got 6, we got A, we got 4. I hate math, so glad it's behind me. But here's the thing. Just because you're no longer in school, you still got math. Decision making, that's math. Making choices, organizing, getting your interest, figuring out if your paycheck is correct. Because there are some people that will pay you incorrectly. You have to do your calculations. Okay, do not just trust people to give you a paycheck. Why? Why? Yep, and you can use a calculator then. That's true. But you have to know what to put into the calculator to know that what you're getting out makes sense. Okay, and yes, you are math smart, so change your mindset. All right. Yep, your show is on. How are you? All right, so I'm seeing some D's, some C's, some A's. Couple, okay, so Justin is saying it's A, okay, Sandra Martin is D, there we go. You're not sure? That's perfectly fine. I will take that, guys. If you're not sure what it is, put a question mark. Hey, you're still part of the problem. You're still part of the, not problem, you're still part of the system. Okay, to calculate formulas, Excel spreadsheets. Yep, if you need to do that. Yep, no idea. Thank you for your honesty. Appreciate that. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple of A's and C's. Okay, Satan is laughing his ass off. No shocker there. Especially nowadays, of course. There's tons to laugh about. All right, so you changed to A. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this. All right, so David has 20 pies. Here we go with our 20. So, the first, he gave 1/4 of his pies to his son. So we're going to multiply that by 1/4. Gave 1/3 of his pies to his brother. We're still talking about the 20 pies. We're not talking about after what was left after the 1/4 that he gave to his son. We're still going back to the 20. And then 1/6 to a friend. So now, for people that are freaking out about fractions, breathe. Woosah. 1/4 of 20 is the same as saying 20 divided by 4. So 20 divided by 4, that gives me 5. Okay. 20 divided by 1/3 is, or 20 times 1/3 is the same as saying 20 divided by 3. So how many 3s can go into 20? That's 6 of them, because that would take me to 18, and that will give me 2 left over. And then I keep going with several 6s. That's what happens. Don't want Satan to get kind of crazy on me. So we're going to round that to 7. Okay? Because you're just going to keep getting the answer of 2 every time you do it. Okay? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So we're going to change that. So now 20 times 1 6 is the same as saying 20 divided by 6. So how many 6s can go into 20? That's 3. Okay, that gives me again the 18. So 20 minus 18 will give me 2. If I put a decimal, I'm going to get a repeat of 3s. So I'm just going to stick just 1 3. Okay. So when I add all these up, okay, we can do all that. When I add all these up, I got 5, 6, and 3, plus the 1 that I got here. So that would give me my 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of the 3 pies, which gives me 5. Okay. Why the 7? Because if you keep dividing, 20 divided by 3, it keeps giving you a repeated 6. It'll be 6.66666666666. So instead of me writing all those 6s, I rounded up to 7. Same thing happened when you divide 26. 20 divided by 6 will give me 3.33333333333. If I round it to the 10th spot, it'll just be 0.3. So now all I have to do is just add them all up. So 7 plus 3, that gives me 10. So I carry my 1. Then I have 1 plus 5 plus 6, that's 12, plus 3 will give me 15. And since there is 1, 2, 3 people that I'm giving these pies to, 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. Okay. Okay. How do you know what number to put in the decimals? It's based off of rounding. Go ahead and use your calculator because I know you do have it. Divide 20 divided by 3. We'll start with that. What did you get? It's still a rational number because the 6s are repeating. Yes. Okay. Right. Thank you. So you get 6.6666. Right. So since you're going to continue to get all the 6s, you might as well round it. Anything it's 5 and above, you're going to give it a shove. So if you got your 6.66, I'm looking at this 6. If it's 5 and above, I'm going to give it a shove. I'm going to add 1 to the previous spot, which gives me a 7. That's where this 6.7 came from. Now, if you divide 20 divided by 6, you're going to get 3.3333. So since I want to take it to the 10th spot, I got my 3. And if it's 4 and below, I leave it alone. So that means I will just get 3.3. So now I would have my 7 plus 3 will give me 10. Then I have my 1. So 5 and 1 gives me 6. Plus 6 gives me 12. plus 3 gives me 15. If you want to say 15.0, you can say 15.0. Okay? But there was 3 people we had to divide by 3. So 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. Okay. So it's really understanding your decimals. It's really understanding how to multiply a whole number with a fraction. Okay. And then your simple addition and division. Okay. All right. Okay. Now you could, as some people like to point out, you could add 1/4, 1/3, and 1/6, get a common denominator, reduce it, which will give you 3/4. But that's 3/4 of the pies gone. So if you got 3/4 of the pies that are gone, that means there is 1/4 of the pies that are left. Because in order for me to make this into a whole, remember a whole is 4/4, that what was missing was this 1/4. So if I wanted to take 20 of the 1/4, that is what David still has, that will also give you 5. Okay, so as I keep saying, there are multiple ways of getting the same answer. Okay, but that's really dealing with fractions, and I know how much you guys love fractions. You know. Yep. All right. Oh, I know it's less work though, Mateo. You don't have to tell me. This is what I do. But a lot of people do not like fractions, and this is one way that you want them to feel comfortable, especially at this time that they're trying to basically pass a test that they may or may not even see this type of math based on the jobs that they're trying to go. All right. Okay. Yep. All you have to do is just message me if you're interested for tutoring. Here's 26. Okay. Mark and Mickey are heading for the same place. Mark is 120 miles away and traveling on an average speed of 50 miles per hour. Mickey is 135 miles away and traveling at an average speed of 45 miles per hour. Who will arrive first? Is it A, Mark, B, Mickey, or C, both will arrive at the same time? There's not enough people to do groups because no one wants to do groups. Everybody wants to do individual. So if you can get a group together, sure, I'll teach a group. And I'll do a group rate. Okay, just message me. Okay. See, this is what everyone says. I want to do groups, and then when it's time for you to do it, because it costs money, guys. It's not free. This is as much free as you're going to get. To be honest with you. All right. All right. So I'm seeing a bunch of A's. No, I do not do pharmaceutical calculations. Okay. So I'm seeing A's, I'm seeing marks, I'm seeing A's. All right. So anytime they're talking about distance, immediately I'm thinking of my distance, my rate, or my speed, and my time. So they're telling me that Mark is 120 miles away, so that's the distance. So we got Mark. So we're at 120. And he's traveling at an average speed of 50 miles per hour. So that's the rate. So if I'm looking for, we got distance divided by rate. All right. So if I cancel out those zeros, it's really looking at 12 over 5, which how many 5s can go into 12? 2. And then that will be 20, so 0.4. Okay. For Mickey, Mickey was 135 miles, and he was going at 45 miles an hour. Well, you would think you're furthest away, you're going slower, and you obviously should be going slower. So I know 45 times 3 gives me 135. So who's going to arrive first? It's going to be Mark. Okay. You know, less miles away, going faster. Makes sense for Mark to be it, right? What is the MHM emoji? I don't know. MHM. I don't know what an MHM emoji is. Okay. Okay. Right. Exactly, user. That's what's up. So anything about tutoring I will discuss, just message me. Simple direction, just message me and we can talk more about it. Okay. Now, if you want one-to-one, I'm telling you, if you notice people that was in the chat and said, yeah, I want to do a group, you guys message each other. Message each other and say, hey, Audrey, these 4 people say they want to. In order for me to do group stuff, I need to have at least 6 people signed up. Okay? I need to have at least 6 people signed up and dedicated to it. That means no cancellations, no, oh, I forgot. None of that stuff. I'm sorry I have to be this itchy about it, but I have to because I've been burnt way too many times. Okay? Yes, that answer was in hours for, who asked that? Chris. All right. So go ahead, follow each other, chit chat with each other, get it together. All right. So Penelope delivers pizza after school. She makes $8.35 per hour plus $1.50 for each delivery. If her boss gives her a 15% per hour raise, how much will she make per hour? Is it A, $8.90, B, $9.60, C, $11.10, or D, $11.80? Okay, so I got some B's. Got some B's with 960s. Okay, so we have some B's. So some C's and some B's. Jenny! Bruno's got my 960. Good. Oh. Okay, Sage, Hector, we got our B's, Mr. from another, so with our B's, Amber's B's, yes. All right, so just like with, I think it was MJ is his initials, the $1.50 for each delivery has nothing to do with anything. Okay, we're talking about what the boss is paying her, right? It has nothing to do with the delivery. So we need to figure out what is 15% of what she's currently taking. So we had to change that 15% to its true decimal. And then we have 5 times 5. Carry the 2, 15 and 2, that's 7. 5 and 8 is 40, plus 1 is 41. Then 1 times anything is itself. So there's the 5, there's the 3, and there's the 8. So we have our 5, 7 and 5 is 12. Carry the 1. We got 4 plus 1 is 5. And 4 and 8 is 12. So, since this is 2 decimal places, this is 2 decimal places, that means I need to move this over 1, 2, 3, 4. And since we're talking about money, the cutoff has got to be here at the hundreds. So I'm looking at the thousandths position. It's a 2. And a 2 is 4 and below, so we're going to leave it alone. So basically, the raise is going to be $1.25. So if we have our $8.35 plus this $1.25, okay, 5 and 5 is 10. All of them have zeros, so that doesn't help me. Carry the 1. 3 and 2, that's 5, plus 1, that's 6. So we're looking at 60 cents, and the only one that has 60 cents is B. And if I want to keep going, I got my 9, 9.6. But if you can shave some time, shave some time. Okay? Yes, you always do, Christy. Okay, you could do that too. Okay, they'll give you the same thing. Hey, Janice. Yep, you can do that too. 1.15, you can do that as well. All right. Okay. All right, but as long as you know, don't add that delivery. You didn't need that. Because sometimes that's why you have to read it, because you might not even need some stuff. All right, a business cleans rugs for 75 cents per square foot. How much would it cost to clean an area rug that measures 8 by 10 feet? Is it A, 55, B, 75, C, 60, or D, 65? So I got my 60s. 60s, a whole bunch of seeds. Herring. Okay, not herringbone. I was about to say, what is a herringbone? Okay. I mean, I know what a herringbone is, but I was like, oh, that's a new math term. All right. So Hurricane Jane, we got all of this. Justin, so 3/4 of 80. Okay. Okay, there's 12 inches in a square foot, so... Okay, so I got my C's, got my C's, got my C's. All right. All right. All right, so good. Area. Anytime area rug, that means we're doing the area. The area is your length times width or base times height. So if you have your 80 times, or your 8 times 10, that gives you your 80. And then you're going to multiply that 80 with the 0.75. Or if you want to do it with fractions, but I know you don't. So 5 is 0. 5 and 8 is 40. Then you have your 0. 7 and 8, it gives me my 56. So this will give me my 6,000. But this is 2 decimal places. So I start here, 1, 2, gives me my point, my 60. All right. But if you wanted to do it with change, you have your 3/4. Okay, times your 80. Okay, 4 and 8, they can cancel out. So that'll make this into a 20. That 4 will be a 1. 3 times 20 gives me 60. Either way, you still get an answer of 60. Okay. Okay. It's a lot of work. You gotta, whichever you want. Can you clarify? I just did. Okay. So 8 times 10 gives me 80. Then you multiply 0.75 because it's 75 cents per square foot. And if not, 3/4. 75 cents, that's 3 out of 4 quarters. So 3 out of 4 quarters times the 80. If I simplify, 80 and 4, they both have 4 in common. So 80 divided by 4 gives me 20. 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. 3 times 20 gives me 60. Okay. All right. Okay. For the formula for area, base times height, length times width, 8 times 10. Why did I multiply 8 times 10? That's area of, because they're talking area, so you're going to multiply 8 times 10. Okay. All right. Can you use a calculator in the ASVAB? No, you cannot. So you really need to understand your multiplication. Yep. Area is length times width. Okay. No, we do not. All right. See, that's the thing, Chris. In here, that's what they're doing. They have to do survive and conquer. They have to eliminate people. Just because they said area rug, they want you to pick that up. If you don't, then you don't get the answer. You don't get into military. Okay? They have to do some kind of divide and conquer. Okay? So that's why we really have to read through and step by step, because I know I have a mixture of people here, some that are probably still in the classroom, some that are older, that are just going back to school, some that have been to school, some are whatever their factors and fortunes are. So this is why I try to keep it as calm as possible. Okay. Okay. And I know some people are slower to learn. And I love how you say that. Let's keep that in mind. That's why I'm doing this. Because if you went to any other platform, they wouldn't be answering your questions at all. They'll be like, okay, they would have already finished this page a long time ago. Okay. So if you don't like it, you can move on. I appreciate you being here, because I can easily just stop doing this altogether and just let you guys try to figure it out for yourselves, because there's no one else that's breaking it down this slowly that's on this app. If so, I haven't seen that person. If so, point them to me. Okay. All right. Okay, so we got 2 more, and that's all we have left for today. Okay. So Joy is a waitress in a popular eatery. She makes $4.90 per hour plus tips. If she had sales of $623 one night and made $127 in tips, what was her average percentage of tips during the night? Is it A, 15%, B, 18%, C, 20%, or D, 22%? Okay, I come on live once a day. Will I be live later? No. Good. Good, Tanya. I love to hear that. Okay, yes, please go after it. Go after it. Get whatever better jobs that's out there. Invent a job. If you guys can't get a job, invent a job, because you have so much knowledge that people will pay for. But you just have to sit down and figure out what is that niche. Because I see people on here. There's this one lady, love her to death. She's sitting on her couch and she's flashing up multiplication facts on multiplication cards. And there'll be over 1,000 people on her live. Right? So if you're sitting there saying to yourself, oh, I can't do anything, shut up, sit down, take a moment and think about what is it something that you're good at Doesn't matter if other people are doing it too. They're not doing it like you because there's only one you. And then make a job of your own. People will pay money for it. Okay? Just want to put that little thought in there. Right? With our cards around our couch. Okay? There we go. It's going offshore. All right. Let's go. So I see a lot of 20%. Okay? Let's go. Go after what you want, babies. This is the one life that you have. Why are you going to sit around worrying about what other people think about you? Stop. Because they're not perfect. They're still trying to figure themselves out themselves. Okay? All right. So, all right. Peter, you're going to make my guy Spotify jealous because usually he comes on here. All right? Keep it moving, boo-boo. Okay, not exactly 20%. Okay. Do I teach trig? I do. I tutor trig. Okay. So the 490s are irrelevant. All right. So let's take a look. All right. So first off, we're not looking at what she's making per hour because what are they asking for? She had this much in sales and made that much in tips. What was her average percentage of tips during the night? So we're not worried about what she's doing per hour. We already got the total amount right here in that one night. So we're doing a comparison of her tips, which is 127, over what she made that night, which is 623. And since we're dealing with percentage, whatever we get from this, we're going to multiply by 100. Okay, so we can get into that pure percentage. So if we want to do it with long division, and this is when it gets really technical. So that means I'm a decimal and a couple zeros. Because we know there isn't any 623s to go into 127. So I'm looking, and this is what helps me to figure out what this first number will be. I'm looking at my first choices. Well, we know 1 can go into 1,270, but let's see what 2 can do. So if I do 623 times 2, I got my 6, I got my 4, I got my 12. That doesn't go over 1,270, so I'm going to put a 2 here. So I got my 1, 2, 4, 6. When I do my subtraction, I got my 6. Now I made that 0 into a 10. So this is 4. This is 2. And those 2 are just zeros. Bring down my 0. So how many 625s can go into 240? Well, none. So if I bring down another 0, I could keep going. But I know I'm going to get another digit over here. Even if I get a digit that's 5 and above, that means I would add 1 to this. So that would be 21%. But I don't have a 21%. So that means my answer has to be 20. Because no matter what this digit is, it's never going to make this into a 2. So my answer has to be 20%, which it is. All right. Yep. So you always want to round. Always look to rounding. Okay. It's not 22%. Because when you subtract, you got 24. You brought down your 0, so now you got 240. How many 623s can go into 240? None. 623 is a heck of a lot bigger than 240s. So you have to put that 0 as a placeholder. Then you add a 0 and bring that down. Now you got 2400. So you're like, okay, how many 623s can go into 2400? Like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a large number here, like 5 or above, because if I round it, it's going to give me a 21. I don't have 21s as my options. So it has to be 20. So it has to be 20%. Okay. Yep. Okay. Can't be rounded up. Okay. Got round on down. All right. Last one for today. If 4 bricks of equal length measures 44 inches, when placed end to end, how long is each brick? Is it A, 10, B, 11, C, 12, or D, 13? Yes, Zeke, it is. Okay, so I got some B's. We got 10. We have B's and 11s. Thank you for the follow. Got a whole bunch of B's. Why is the last one so easy? I don't know. Did I make it? No. We got B's, got 11s, we got 10, we got 11s, we got 10s. All right, so let's think about it. There's 4 bricks, okay? Let's just pretend that they're equal in length. Okay, pretend that they're equal. So from here to here, that's 44 inches. There's 4 bricks. How long would each brick be? 11. Okay, 44 divided by 4 gives us 11. Okay. All right. All right. Yep, no gap. Because what they said, placed end to end. They didn't mention anything about mortar. Okay. All right. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, definitely. That wall will fall down. Yep. All right, so. Okay, where are the keywords to find to solve? What, for the last one? Where are the keywords? When am I coming back on live? Sometime tomorrow. Because I do not like to have a schedule anymore. It just makes, for some reason, it just like, every time I put a schedule, I always have to come on TikTok and just cancel it out. But here's something that can help you out for the meantime. So if you're just coming on, this is what I do. You can go here, type in this, or I'll type in my name. Okay, I would love for you to do these. Give me a few minutes or maybe a couple hours, depending. Sometimes the weekends take a little bit longer for TikTok when I download. I download all of my lives and I place it here. Okay, so all of my lives since February 2nd, that's when I started taking this whole, tutoring thing seriously here on TikTok. And you will actually see up to like yesterday's live, which is the beginning portion of the arithmetic reasoning. So sometimes I mix it up. I'll do a little math knowledge. Sometimes I'll do something with PSATs. Sometimes I'll do a little something with HES, an Accuplacer, or there are times that I actually teach a concept that I noticed one of my college algebra students was struggling with. So it's a variety, this is a good duck shoot. But if you do, and you're like in need of, this is what I tutor, which is right here. So anything from 7th grade up to adults, that is my thing. So anything that's like college algebra, trig, geometry, pre-calculus, not the AP pre-calc, because that can go back to the depths of hell, which it came. GED, ASVAB, IBEW, Praxis, anything with the T's test, the algebra part of it. Okay, just for you to get into that nursing school, that's what I can help with. I know there's probably some other letters and phrases that other states and districts use. If you're thinking that you need assistance and you need a tutor for it, hey, just reach out. Okay, send me a DM because I do private and small group tutoring. And if you're just like, you know what, I've always been bad at math and I really think that I need something, that means you need someone to teach you. You want to do the courses, okay? The tutoring is like, let's tweak your thinking a little bit. Let's do a little extra practice. Let's get you ready for it like sooner than later. That's tutoring. But if you're just like, I struggle with math since 1 + 1, you're going to need to follow along with the course, which is a course that I created personally. It's 107 videos and it's self-paced. If you have questions, you can always send me a message and ask your questions as you go through it. But it's going to be self-paced. You're going to walk yourself through it. Again, GED, ASVAB, Acuplacer. If your TEAS test or any kind of foundational skills, the Foundation to Algebra 1 will be the best course for you. Okay. Well, thank you, Sammy. Okay. Do you got to pay? Yes. Me coming on TikTok is, costing me tons of money. Okay. You want to go to Marines? Okay. All right. So if anything, if you need those assistance and you think that tutoring will be your best bet, you know you're going to be taking your ASVAB rather soon, hey, message me. Okay. I do have time in my schedule and I'd rather if we meet one time, that'll be great. You know, you never know. You might get a lot of information out of that one time. All right. So if anything, go here just in case you're just getting here. The replay will be up probably a little bit later this afternoon, depending on how everything goes. All right. So for the course itself, or the course is like on 197. For my tutoring, it's usually 92, but for my TikTok followers, I do it for 67. And that is for an hour. No, I'm sorry, 77. I forgot all my 67 slots are filled now. So I can do it with the 77 instead of my 92. Okay, so it's 77 for my 1 hour. And then my thing is I go right straight to it. It's like, hi, how are you? Awesome, great, let's get to it. I'm not wasting any time. I don't want to hear about, well, my kids are driving me crazy. Well, that'll be another discussion we can have. Because when you're paying me, I want you to get your value, okay? And I really want you to have an open mind, be able to figure things out and like, oh my gosh, that's so much easier, or no, that's difficult. Okay, let's tweak your thinking. Okay, because I like to get paid for what I'm worth. And I know I'm worth the 92, but because you guys are very supportive and I know some people are a little strapped because of our current situation, that's why I do it for 77. But as I told you guys, if you want to do it as a group, I can do a group rate, okay, which is a lot cheaper than the 77, but that's up to you guys talking to each other and coming with me with 6 people. I just need at least 6 people, okay? But if it's more than that, let me figure it out, okay? All right. Are the courses good for 8th graders? Yes. Anonymous, the course is good for 8th graders. Okay. All right. Thanks for the follow, your mom. I know you're willing to do the group. A lot of people say they're willing to do the group, but here's the thing. Everyone's probably going to be on different time zones. Everyone's not going to be free at the same time. And that's where it gets all kinds of hairy and scary. That's the thing. So that's why I'm like, I've been doing this since February. And even over the summer, I was trying to help people. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, I want to do it. And then when we're about to start, oh, you know what? I'm about to go on vacation. How did you all of a sudden just become going on vacation? I've been playing this for months. Okay, so this is why I got an attitude. And usually I don't come on here with an attitude. But, I mean, to me, it's just like, I'm putting aside time for you guys. So in order for me to do these groups, I have to put aside time. Okay? All right, so you think about it, and then get to me. All right? And if you're interested in it, go ahead and DM me. So if you're interested in the group, DM me. Okay? Don't just say hi because I'm going to delete the message. Okay? Tell me what you want and put it in the DM. Okay? All right. All right, everyone. I will see you guys sometime tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some kind of math and breaking some concepts down. It might be factoring because I'm starting to see a lot of things dealing with factoring coming about. So I might actually just be doing a lesson on factoring, which is good because that's going to help people that are taking the GED, help people that are taking the ASVAB, the AccuPlacer, even the TEAS test and the HESI test because they are the HESI test because all that does have factoring and usually those are the higher end. GED, that would be a 4-point question. Okay. All right. Nope. This is why you got to come on time. All right. I will see you guys. If you need any attention, go ahead and just message me and I will definitely respond. Be on the lookout. Make sure you, if you want to, come here. Go ahead, subscribe. It's a free subscription so you can get the replay of today and many other lives. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.